Sat Shri Akal ji. I can't tell you how delighted I am to be back here, to see everyone, meet everyone in person after so many years. Online, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹੇ KSLF, and I so feel a very integral part of this place because I think I started my journey with this very special festival, with my first book coming first time to this very special place. So this place means a lot. And I'm here not for just one, but 2 sessions. Today, a very special one, introducing a very dear friend of mine, a co-actor, not a co-author, an author, a guy I would say, when you read somebody's book, तो ऐसे लगता है कई बार कि आप उनको बहुत अच्छे से जानते हैं, उनकी छोटी-छोटी बातें. So in that context, I do feel, I know Tushar Kapoor very well by now. हम मुंबई में रहते हैं, लेकिन जो मैं इनकी किताब पढ़ के इनको जान गई हूँ, I must say, it feels a pleasure to have known you, Tushar.
Thank you. Until you moderate my session, you haven't known me.
But we've done a session together, so I know how you are. But I must say, tell us where you want us. How will I see him?
I'll sit here, you sit here.
ऐसे? I hope you all can see us. सुन रहे हैं, करन लग गए, साडा तो सेशन ही रह जाना है, कोई ना, तुसी हुन देख लो सानू, ठीक है? So I must say, a guy who's been truly honest, and I love that about him. Very straightforward, truly honest. Somebody who's been very different being a star child. And what I love about him is his independent decisions that he's taken, which makes him the bachelor dad, a unique single dad. So Tushar Kapoor for you.
Thank you so much for the very warm welcome. Always your usual style is being warm, which is why I love to see you on screen also.
Thank
that
you.
warmth comes through.
Thank
and
you.
I'm very, very grateful that you said yes to be sitting next to me right now.
My pleasure, absolutely, Tushar. First of all, I think I should start with that very cliche question that everyone would like to know, that you've been a very successful actor, producer, and there's so many things that you do in your life. What made you write a book or think of writing a book?
You know, it wasn't really planned, of course. Everyone, when they answer this kind of a question, they say it was never planned.
Yes.
But truly, it wasn't something that I had in mind from the very beginning. Though somewhere around 2019, in that year, friends used to, a friend of mine who's here right now, Meena Iyer, she also used to tell me that why don't you write an autobiographical book, or why don't you write about your journey as a single parent, because they've all witnessed my role as a bachelor dad with my son, and close friends will always see you, you know, how you are as a father, an actor, single male father.
Right.
So they said it's unusual, it's unconventional, or you'll have so much stuff to write about if you write a book. And I'm usually somebody who likes to be in my comfort zone. So when something, some idea like this comes up, I usually, like, initially I'm a bit resistant. But thereafter I realized that, you know, in all my interviews, when I go to promote movies or I do things as a public figure, they ask me this question all the time. कि आप क्यों बने single father? कैसे हुआ? किसने आपको idea दिया? और आप कैसे कर रहे हो अभी अकेले एक बच्चे को कैसे संभाल रहे हो? In fact, one Bollywood wife, when she met me at the park, and the first thing she asked me, how are you managing? So to answer all their questions, I decided that I might as well just write a book, or, you know, maybe write it with a co-author or whatever, and answer all the questions, because then nothing is lost in translation. किसी को कुछ सवाल करना बोलेगा, please आप किताब पढ़ लो. So that was one of the reasons, and the other reason, of course, was it would be another feather in my cap.
Totally.
You know, it's something that is a part of your personality, or my personality rather, and no one knows about. Everyone has preconceived notions about actors' children, कि dropouts होंगे, लिखेंगे कैसे, मतलब शायद वो अपने मतलब बोल नहीं सकते, लिख कैसे कैसे देंगे. And that is an image that sticks with you when you are born to a film family, that you must be uh, broken somewhere, you must be messed up somewhere, you must be entitled somewhere, and you must be really stupid somewhere, but you're still an actor. So that is also a preconceived notion that probably, I mean, I had it at the back of my mind that ये भी तोड़नी है बात. एक किताब लिख के थोड़ा दिखाना भी है, थोड़ा शो ऑफ भी करना है कि हाँ हम लिख सकते हैं. Why not? थोड़ा शो ऑफ नहीं किया तो फिर क्या किया? Yeah.
That brings me to another thing I wanted to ask you. Everyone talks about मैं लुधियाना से हूँ, तो मुझे सब outsider बुलाते हैं इंडस्ट्री में. You are a Mumbai child, Jeetu ji's son, I mean a star kid. But when I read your book, I see you've done everything, practically everything on your own. Your decisions have been yours. Meeting people has been yours. You've been a graduate in business, and so in finance management. What have you graduated?
Yeah, I've graduated with a BBA degree in finance. Yeah.
Look at that. So you've done varied stuff. How is it different when we talk from the other side of the fence?
How is it
like you're called more privileged, or you're called,
yeah, of course.
But you're not like that. So I'm saying,
No.
Just tell us the clear picture
I
of
believe
being a normal person.
Everyone comes into this industry or any industry with their own karma. You know, we come into the world with our own karma. So no matter where you're born, you have your own challenges to deal with. And you know, I did my first film with another star kid, and she was a star even before her first film came out. Some people just, I mean, she was so beautiful, she was so popular. So
who are we talking about?
But Kareena, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm also a star kid, but she was doing 4 films when I was working with her in her second film, and her first film hadn't come out also by then. And she had a second film, which was my film, and four more other films with huge stars.
Okay.
So I think just to highlight this point that every star kid doesn't have it the same way, I like to tell you that I used to have to wait for her for 12 to 14 hours for my shot to come, because she used to do Ashoka first, then she used to do Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum shooting, then she used to do Ajnabi ki shooting, then she used to do Yadein ki shooting, and then she used to come for Mujhe Kuch Kehna Hai ki shooting.
And look at that.
इतनी डिमांड थी कि वो 3 दिन में, I think वो 5 शिफ्टें करती थी, वो चेंज होती रहती थी शिफ्ट कभी भी, you know, depending on the availability. And then I would get a chance, and then I would do my shot in the middle of the night, do my close-ups, and then I'd go home. So it was all worth it, no regrets. I'm very happy that I got a chance to work with an actress in my first film who's made it really, really big, and who's really made a good name for herself. But ऐसा कोई red carpet सबके लिए नहीं होता है. You know, सबकी अलग जर्नी होती है, सबकी अलग एक.
But सबके lives में मुश्किल आती है. मेरे लिए शायद कोई और मुश्किल होगी. For you, it's something different.
Absolutely.
मुश्किल तो आती
We all have our differences.
Yes.
And we all have our
Since
challenges.
outsider and insider are sitting together, I thought this should be spoken.
मैं आज भी outsider मानता हूँ अपने आप को.
See, वो आपका अपना वो सोच है, लेकिन बहुत सारे लोगों को लगता है ये outsider, ये insider. But I just want to say and just reiterate that everyone has their journey, and nothing comes easy.
Nothing comes easy. Absolutely.
So I just wanted to say it since I was meeting you here today. Another thing I really relate to you is in my first book, Myanmar, I had written about lots of arranged matches that happened in my life. Ke inse mil lo aur sab taiyar hoke, that typical thing. Maza bhi aata tha, but lagta tha arranged match thodi karenge, kuch jaane to sahi. When I was reading your book, I saw you've done the same. And I want to know, I found it very amusing. I really want to, there were some very interesting anecdotes you've written about the typical arranged match thing that you went for.
No, I didn't want to have an arranged marriage.
I know that, but you went for it to just
yes. I went
your
for
family happy,
keep my family calm and off my back. ऐसे ठीक है मैं चले जाता हूँ, and it was a marriage proposal of some sorts. Of course, I won't name the people and all. Very sweet people, but it was not a match made in heaven. Maybe that's why I'm sitting here today. But I was doing it for the sake of my parents. So I went like a zombie, and I was like, let's be positive. Let's make the most of this day, this trip. And of course, सब कुछ politely हो गया. But
that wasn't your
उसके बाद
calling.
कुछ हुआ नहीं. Thankfully कुछ हुआ नहीं.
I think it's always a connect.
I think
Arranged marriage हो या love marriage हो, I think connect हो तो हो जाता है.
Parents always want your best. You know, I will also want my son's best, and parents will be a very good judge of character, so they will judge your friends better than you judge your friends.
That's
I
true.
believe that. But I don't believe that parents always know best. I somewhere feel that आपकी एक अंदर की आवाज होती है, होनी चाहिए. आप जितने अपने आप को जानते हो ना, वो कभी कभी आपके माँ बाप भी नहीं जानते हैं. तो sometimes it might just pay off to be alone and find your own path.
That just says
Yeah.
how clear-minded you are. Sometimes
It's challenging
that's,
because
it
we
is.
are we grew up in a society, we are brought up in a society where we believe, and it's true also that कि माँ बाप जो है हमारे भगवान होते हैं, of course, because we are here because of them.
Absolutely.
But कुछ चीजें कभी कभी आपकी खुद की होनी भी चाहिए. It's for your sanity, it's for your well-being, it's for your.
But I
It's
tell you
yeah.
something, whatever your choices may be, ultimately parents mostly support us for whatever
Of course.
choices.
And
I'm very
yes,
thankful.
yes, yes.
I'm very thankful. I'm sure so are you. So let's get back to the book, The Bachelor Dad. How did that first paternal instinct come to you? Okay, I need a child. Because there's a beautiful line in your book which says, ki, you can marry late, lekin to be a very devoted father, you need to be young and you need to have that time frame to just take that decision that time.
Yes.
Yes.
For sure, yeah. So the clock was ticking, and by the time I came into my mid 30s, around 10 years back, I realized that, it's, I'm in between the devil and the deep blue sea, I don't know where I'm going as far as my family life is concerned. So that realization came into me, and I think it's sometimes it's very important to get that into your subconscious कि ये important है. कभी कभी आपको answers ना आपके पास answers ना भी हो तो it's okay. But as long as you know at the back of your mind कि okay, this area of my life needs work. I need to have some sort of a focus on it. And then of course you begin to manifest those things. I think if it's there at the back of your mind, somehow I think mystically God is kind.
Universe sunta hai.
God is kind, and we start manifesting that for ourselves, and that's what happened in my case. I had no clue, but I had spoken to some people, some friends in the US, in Michigan, whom I used to connect with, and they said that, surrogacy is an option, and IVF, and there are fertility centers in Denver, Colorado, somewhere in the US, there is some very well-known place, and the laws are very, very conducive to this for people like us, rather than doing it in India. And then, of course, that chapter in my book, Divine Intervention, happened. And it just happened in India. So I realized that India में सब कुछ है, हमें बाहर जाने की ज़रूरत है नहीं. There's no place like India. You just have to keep your eyes and ears open.
And your heart.
Open to, yes, and your heart. Yeah, we have it all here.
That's true. I want to, since we're talking about the divine intervention, I want to know about that very special trip you had, where you met Mr. Prakash Jha and things changed for you.
I went actually to Tirupati in May 2015.
Yes.
This is when
sorry to interrupt. I hope you all know Prakash Jha,
Yes.
the very renowned producer director that we have, and I think you worked with him.
I have worked with him. No, I haven't worked. It feels like I've worked with him.
It feels like you worked with him.
Yes, I haven't worked with him. No.
Okay.
My sisters worked with him in Lipstick Under My Burqa.
That's
Yeah,
right.
she did with
That's
him. Yeah.
right. Yes,
But
please.
We haven't worked, but I know him now because of this. So I went to Tirupati actually because a film of mine called Masti Zade was stuck in the censor board. So I went to pray कि ये picture censor हो जाए, because बहुत ही मतलब कि बहुत ही बेहुदा काम किया था हमने उस फिल्म में, which I'm quite embarrassed about. But पिक्चर अटक गई थी सेंसर बोर्ड में. हम गए प्रार्थना करने गए थे कि ये बेहुदा फिल्म जल्दी आ जाए थिएटरों में और मुझे टेंशन न दे और आए और मतलब जो भी करना है ऐसे कर ले. एंड आई केम आउट ऑफ द आई मीन समहाउ दैट सेम डे आई बोर्डेड द फ्लाइट टू तिरुपति एंड प्रकाश जी वाज इन माय नेक्स्ट सीट. सो वी स्पोक लाइक colleagues in the film industry and it was a formal conversation. And then इत्तेफाक से दर्शन तो हमने अलग अलग लिए because we landed and we went our own ways, but the next day we realized that both our flights are cancelled back. I think it was the same flight or we had two separate flights, but they were both cancelled. So he called me and said my flight is cancelled. So I said, yeah, what do we do? So then we started talking to the travel agent like we always do when you're out of town and things go haywire. So we spoke to the travel agent. They said you can go to Chennai, you can drive to Chennai like the olden days from Tirupati to Chennai and then take a flight to Mumbai from there in the evening. So we both carpooled it, and in that car he asked me a lot of questions about family, and he said I'm a single parent, I was married in the 80s, I think, to he's divorced his wife and he has adopted a daughter as a single parent and brought her up all by himself as a filmmaker.
Wow.
So he told me stories about how he used to, he used to feed her milk between shots and lots of very, very interesting and no complaints. But he said that it's a beautiful journey. And ho jata hai sab kuch. Agar karna hai to ho jata hai sab kuch. And he made me speak to this family in Mumbai, a single mom who's done what I did, and her daughter was 2 years old then. So her mom, so the lady
Rupurani,
who's her mom, so the grandmom of the daughter, she came on the line and said, "Beta, you come to Mumbai, I'll show you how it has to be done. There's no problem. Everything." Almost as if I was like, "What? This is like a life-changing decision," and it's like I'd never dream about it in my wildest dreams because I'm very uncontroversial. I'm very shy. And I have post-traumatic stress disorder. I mean, I shouldn't be trivializing mental health, but I have a lot of anxiety when there's something going to be out in the papers the next day. I won't be sleeping the night before.
Okay.
So that's my nature. It's just a personality, Scorpio by
Scorpio,
nature. Yeah.
yes.
So we like to be in our shell. So to think about something so drastic, so out of the box and so cool about it. So I spoke to Rupurani ma'am. I said, I'll come and see you in Mumbai. I think somewhere deep down I realized I've got the answers to my questions. I think वो पता चल जाता है ना.
Instinctively.
कभी-कभी आपको स्क्रिप्ट भी मिलती है जो बहुत ही डेयरिंग हो और आपको लगता है ये मैं कैसे करूँगा या करूँगी. और at the back of mind आपको लगता है कि यार ये opportunity ये मेरे लिए है. So that double feeling was happening. It was happening. That gut tells you कि this is something that can work out. So I came to Mumbai and of course then I ignored it, forgot about it. I started thinking on those lines. It took me 3 months to go to her.
Okay.
And thereafter I won't tell you what happened because then you won't read my book. So please read the book. And then Divya's questions also. I don't want to bore you.
No, okay, so once you decide, you were very clear in those 3 months that you want to take this path.
Very clear that I want to go meet her and then go see how it goes. So when I met her, then she took me to meet the doctor, Firuza Parekh.
Firuza Parekh, yes.
Then they explained to me what it all entailed.
And it felt right to you.
And then I took a couple of weeks again.
Okay.
And then it felt right to me. And then I went the whole hog. I didn't tell my parents about it because I said, I have to do this for myself. And no turning back now. So I went and did it. And then, of course, when the IVF was successful and the surrogacy was about to begin, the second stage, that's when I told my parents, now I need to tell them. And it's going too far. So it's better if for all ethical reasons, and forget anything else, for all ethical reasons, I must share it with mom at least. And I told her, don't tell dad, because he'll probably get a shock. He's very conservative. He's a Desi Punjabi actor.
Yes.
So don't tell him. And like all moms, she's gone and told him the same day. She can't keep, like all moms who can't keep anything from their husband, she's gone and told him.
Stress, I'm telling.
She said I couldn't hold it. I had to tell somebody, so I had to tell him. And he was even cooler than her. He was okay. He's saying that fine, if it's his decision and if he's okay with it, it's legal. And if it's making him happy, it's okay, fine, that's cool. But they both told me, he didn't tell me, she told me that we will be grandparents.